All right, everybody's been talking about it. I want to give my 2 cents on it. The girl named Lilly Phillips has slept with 100 men in 14 hours. We're going to take a look at what she had to say, her reaction to it afterwards, because, shocker, she doesn't feel good about herself. We're going to talk about all of that today in just a second. Before we do, though, I do want to say hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels. Let's start off with what you guys want to see over here. Fearbuck had a couple posts over here recapping it all, which is very nice. Woman films the aftermath of sleeping with 100 men in 14 hours. Okay, this is a 2-minute video. I don't know how long we're going to go into this, but this is like getting to the point of like what she was doing.
Viral for letting 23 guys run a train on me with my friend Bonnie. Now, that video is actually out now, so if you want to check that out, you know where to go. But if you want to be a part of the next one, I'm actually doing 100 guys in one day. So head on over to my Twitter to find out how to apply. Morning.
And she had a bunch of people apply to that, which is nuts. First of all, like all of the guys, you know what? We're going to look, I'll say what I have to say about this after the fact, because let's take a look at the entire story over here. So she's excited. We're going to sleep with 100 men. These guys can sign up. Everybody can come around. And then just look at her face over here. Who could have saw this coming? Maybe she's not feeling so good with herself afterwards. Let's take a look at this again. It's just, it's sad, but we'll talk a little bit more about it, okay?
I think sometimes like feeling so like robotic, like by the, I think like the 30th, you know, like when we're getting on a bit, I've got like a routine of like how we're going to do this. And like, it just, sometimes you'd like disassociate and be like, you know, like. So you feel used.
That's interesting. Who could have possibly saw that coming when guys are just coming in, signing up to actually just stick it in you for 5 minutes or so?
It's not like normal things at all. In my head right now, I can think of like 5, 6 guys, 10 guys that I remember. And
that you remember. Holy, talk about it. Robotic might be the word, the right word for it.
That's it. But it's just, I don't know, it's just weird, isn't it? Like, if I didn't have the videos, I wouldn't have known I've done 100, you know?
So what, she just turned her brain off and just let everybody use her? Yeah, that sounds like something. Like, look at her face, man. Look at her eyes. I know the quality isn't that great, but like, look at her eyes, man. You can tell that she's kind of regretting it.
But yeah. I think that was kind of the hard part, is like conversing with them and like when they'd kind of be like, oh, like we've only had 2 minutes or 3 minutes and you said 5 on the message.
These guys are beyond pathetic, man.
Did someone say that to you?
Yeah. And obviously it just makes me feel so bad.
Like, I mean, I get why she feels bad, but why are you also promising 100 guys 5 minutes of your time, 5 minutes of them having access to your body? I mean, she could always revoke that, like, during the activity, but I mean, like, this whole thing could have been avoided is my point.
Do you think you should feel bad about that?
I guess when you've promised something to people who support you, it's kind of hard to let them down.
But it's up to you, right? Like when you know.
Yeah.
She should have just put a stop to it when she wasn't feeling that great about it, honestly. And I don't think that it, like, if anybody signed up for this, flew out to like have sex with somebody for 5 minutes, that's on you, man. You're already pathetic enough. There's no point that I wouldn't care if she's not supposed to live up to what she promised. I don't care.
Have you even processed, do you think, what's happened?
Not yet. God, I won't forget this day, Jesus.
When I decided to start making this documentary, I wasn't too sure of what to expect. I certainly didn't expect to see Lilly so upset at the end of it all.
You didn't expect Lilly to be upset with it at the end? Really? Letting 100 people come over and fly out just to use her body and nothing else. You didn't expect her to be upset? I mean, it's definitely on this chick too for allowing it, but it's ridiculous, okay? Now, here's the weird part, because I don't know if this is an act. I know, I would imagine the crying's not an act, and she was being very vulnerable in that position. I'm talking about like further down the road, continuing on with her OF page, just continuing on with the next activity that we're going to take a look at, okay? This is where I think it's the act. Lilly Phillips turns on the waterworks after organizing to be piped by 100 men for fame. Then the outrage of it is men are, you know, depraved animals. Also, Lilly Phillips a few weeks later. And this is a new video of Lilly Phillips and what she is planning on doing next.
I spent 14 consecutive hours getting ran through, and now I'm going to be doing 24 because I'm going to be going for the world record early February next year. I'm going to go for 1,000.
I have no idea what to say. Like, obviously this is going to work. Obviously people are going to sign up for it. And obviously people are going to buy our OnlyFans, but is this worth it? Like, you can see her face, and I'll bring it back over to you. Just the way that she was looking right now. You can see on her face how disgusted she is with herself and how much she regrets it. And we're probably not even hearing, like, I would imagine that she broke down and cried more and more and more and more. But the problem is you have the next clip where she's all dolled up again, looking A-okay, ready to go for 1,000 men. The problem is, and I've seen a lot of discourse online about it, who's to blame, like the 100 men for going on, or the girl for, you know, offering her body to all of these people just for clout, which worked. I think both of them are to blame. I think all of these people are, I don't know if I can describe it properly on YouTube, man. Like, I think all of them are just the lowest that you can get. I think all of them are the biggest problem with society. And first of all, like, I think women should have more self-respect for themselves than that. Like, that's ridiculous what she did. But at the end of the day, you know what I can't understand too? And I don't want to say can't understand, because I would never personally be part of this, but I do understand how desperate men have been getting and how addicted to lust men have been getting, how the internet has been showing people, and especially younger kids nowadays, that this type of behavior is normal, and it's only going to get even worse. Like I said, next up, she's going for 1,000. It's only going to get worse from there, okay? I understand why people end up in the mindsets where it's like, all right, can't wait to be number 79. Here we go. And any normal person, anybody, any self-respecting person would think that it's disgusting. And first of all, like, I can't imagine the diseases. I can't imagine. It revolts me. But just, like, imagine the only way, like, how pathetic do you have to be? The only way that you can enter a woman is to be, like, number 100. Could you imagine being the 100th guy? How detached she is. She's probably crying through all of it. Like, how could you possibly bring yourself to contribute to this activity? Maybe number 1 I could understand. Maybe. And even then, she does not have any attachment to you whatsoever. You're being used for a clip, and this poor girl is, and I have trouble saying poor girl because she's doing it to herself. But this is the way that this girl's making a living, and she's obviously not having a good time doing so. She's obviously acting with the way that we just saw her. This face, this is the real her. This is the real her. She did not like what she was doing, and I would imagine that it's a lot worse. Look at her eyeballs, man. Look at her eyeballs. That's nothing. That's just the very, very beginning of it. And then you have to doll her up, make her look completely fake again, just like this. There's no way, after what she just experienced, that she wants to go with 1,000 guys after this. But the problem is, this is only going to get worse. This is only the beginning, because now OF is such a oversaturated market that girls are going to have to do these crazy things. Like, look, I would imagine her OF page is very successful right now after this activity. Was she getting any buyers before that? Probably a little bit, but now she's probably going to end up a little bit towards the top. I don't know about the actual top, but like enough where you can make a lifetime of income. I can't say myself that that's something I could ever even wrap my mind around, sacrificing my own dignity that way and letting people use me to that extent. 100 people, 1,000 people, 1,100 people in total, and God knows how the number of other people that she's been with on camera, right? Letting people use me to that extent just so I could be financially secure. Like, I'll work the scummiest retail job. I don't care. And before some of you sickos comment down below, I know that I'm going to hear a couple where it's like, well, if 1,000 women wanted to use me, who do I care? It's very different for men and women. Very, very different, okay? It is such a tragedy on this girl's body. And what I meant by, like, I can't imagine doing this to myself, I would imagine, like, letting a bunch of men, you know, imagine inserting yourself to her exact situation, okay? There is no way in hell, there is not enough money in the entire world that would ever make me do something like that. So don't comment down below and be like, oh, I'd be okay with 1,000 girls using me. Like, I get it. It's a different story for men and women, right? But as I was saying, this problem's only going to get worse because now girls need to do, because OF is such an oversaturated market, that girls need to make themselves stand out somehow. This girl is going to break the record and sleep with 1,000 men in 24 hours. How are people going to top it? It's only going to get more disgusting. It's only going to get more illegal, by the way. Then believe me, that's coming. And the laws are only going to be lifted with time, which it's a conversation for another time, but you guys get where this is going. It's only going to get more illegal. It's only going to get more borderline illegal. It's only going to get more depraved. It's only going to get more shocking. Like, we're going to end up in a world, guys, because people are being so desensitized to this stuff. And I won't give you the whole lecture about it. Think of it like drugs. The more you do it, the more of a tolerance you build up to, and then you'll need a harder hit, so to speak, in order to end up feeling something again. It's the same thing for all of these sex addicts, for all the same people purchasing OF content. We are going to get into a time where this girl is going, I don't know, like she's going to get hurt. She's going to get violently hurt. And it's a very slippery slope. We're already sliding down it. And it's only going to get more illegal with these activities. And it is ridiculous with the way this world is going. I don't understand how anybody's okay with it. In saying that, though, a lot of people have been talking about whose fault it is. Again, I believe it's the fault of both people. And the problem is, you know what? We'll stop it right there. Let's take a look at what everybody else had to say about this over on the Explore page. Replies to Fearbuck. The videos were everywhere. Let's take a look, okay? Suarez had this to say about it. Am I supposed to feel sorry for her for the choices that she made? A lot of people do feel sorry for her. I struggle to feel sorry for her personally, but I always come from this and I try to have a very big heart for these types of things. I do, because again, like, she is a person, but I can't bring myself to feel sorry. The way that I just look at it and I'm like, what were you thinking trying to sleep with 100 people? But she's probably a victim of, but then again, like, is she really, like, now she's a victim, but she wasn't a victim when she went to go sleep with 100 guys. Like, she brought this upon herself, and perhaps she didn't know how she would feel afterwards, but I blame society for telling women that they're going to feel good the more times they sleep with a bunch of different guys. Women release, and again, I don't want to give you a whole lecture about it, but the chemicals that they release in they're supposed to bond. They're supposed to bond, and they're not getting that. They're getting it stripped away, and they're being used. How could you possibly expect somebody to feel good after that? I can't bring myself to feel sorry for her. Global Index had this to say, there are two things. One, she's responsible for her own behavior in this sick stunt. Two, it's also clear OF have turned women into plastic dolls, and the models themselves have bought this heartbreaking lie. That's the thing, right? This is the problem. So many young women nowadays have bought the heartbreaking lie of the reality of what they're doing, and then it's going to be too late. Like, Lilly Phillips will never in a million years get a husband. She will never find love. Does she want to have kids? The only type of people that are going to want to have kids with her are the type of people that are going to sign up to be 100 people to be number 80 in order to use your body for 5 minutes. Is that the type of guy that you want to have as a husband and to father your children? Obviously not. She is going to want to look for a capable partner, and that's never going to happen. Any self-respecting man will never in a million years even entertain the idea. Anybody until the end of time will only look at this girl for this act. Let's take a look at what Steph Annie had to say. What a stupid article. Yes, let's blame the men for her decision and get run through all day long. Lilly Phillips is a perfect example of immoral and degenerate society has become, and she's going to do it again. 1,000 men. She's doing a casting call for it, so who's really exploiting who here? And of course, there are a bunch of articles, shame on the men exploiting Lilly Phillips. I agree with it, though. I agree, and I think both of them are to blame here. I think that you have to be careful for YouTube, but I think the world will be better off without the 100 men that decided to use this one for, like, how could you do that? By the way, how could you do that? Like, imagine being in that mindset. How violent you must have to be. Like, all of these people, it wouldn't not shock me for the people who signed up to be one of those 100 people. It would not shock me if they also had, assault tendencies, to put this lightly, because realistically, what normal person would do this? But then again, there's a lot of young men who are victim of circumstance. There's a lot of people who have been conditioned to believe that things like this are okay. That's the problem. Both the girl and all of the 100 guys are to blame. Everybody's to be blamed about this. She is an example of how immoral and degenerate society has become, and so are the men who are participated. It's an equal responsibility. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, perhaps this reply is right. I would say at most proportional. They share 1% of the responsibility. I don't know. It's getting to equal. And I'd love to know what you guys think about this, by the way, because it's a very, very unfortunately interesting topic. This is kind of where I was sitting down. This was my initial reaction to it. What kind of man stands in that line? Really? Like, and I know this is my own personal hiccup because I'm a major, major germaphobe. I can't imagine the diseases. Oh my God. But just in general, like, awesome. 65 other dudes were in front of me. My turn for 5 minutes. And you're looking at this girl who's probably basically crying. Like, these people are messed up. They need to be, every single one of those 100 men need to be investigated. I will stand on that 100%. They are a danger to the people around them, potentially. They are potentially and likely a danger to the people around them and a danger to society. Elijah Crawford had this to say, while I do agree, I feel it's right to point out that she wouldn't be doing this if men weren't paying her for it. True. A lot of people are paying to see the OF content, and a lot of them are to also be blamed. We were talking about Sophie Rain and the amount of money that she made earlier. Who's to blame? Sophie for getting the bag? I don't think so. I don't think so. Let's continue on to I Hypocrite. And this is the one that got a ton of attention, okay? Something that's cool about Lilly Phillips, the documentary on YouTube about banging 100 men in 24 hours. See thumbnail. I loved it. It's not that it's not age restricted, so your children may also enjoy it. That's true. This is very, very difficult to find. Isn't that crazy? Doesn't that point to you? And you know what? I take it back, YouTube. YouTube, I am extremely grateful to be on this platform. I will leave this to you to judge on your own. Do you think this is right? Do you think this is wrong? I would love to know what you think about it down below. YouTube, I'm very grateful to be on your platform. If you deem something to be age appropriate, then who am I to say otherwise? Ignore everything else I said in this video. Let's continue on to another post. Why do people feel sorry for Lilly Phillips? She chose to sleep with 100 men in a day. Nobody forced her to do this. It's embarrassing to all the people saying how bad they feel for her. It was her own doing, and next year she's doing 1,000 men. Disgusting. I understand where everybody's coming from over here, though. That's the problem, right? Now, here's the thing. I also saw a lot of people talking about, because there's another girl, and I don't know her name. She's the redhead. I don't know. I'm sure you've seen clips about her where all of a sudden she is this OF girl who made her money and then she turned Christian, right? She's exploiting all the Christian guys. I always have an issue about that from my own perspective, because I'm Catholic and I'm supposed to be very, very accepting, very forgiving. But that's something that I struggle so hard with internally. Because if this girl, and a lot of people are saying just wait until she becomes Christian, right? And for those of you who don't know, Christian and Catholics are basically the same thing. I will have such a difficult time seeing this, because there are a lot of people online who use a lot of Christian men. There are a lot of people who use, they put on a persona and just like they want to change their whole image, and then some sucker is going to fall for it. When in reality, 99% of the time, people do not change. And if she's still going with 1,000 guys after this 100 guys, is she really going to change after the 1,000? Maybe she'll be like, oh my God, well, I'm a Christian now. I found God. And my problem is, because of my faith, I'm stuck here, and I have to say to myself, who am I to judge this person? If the faith is fake, then they will deal with it in the end. But the problem is, I find this so disrespectful to my own faith, and I struggle with this big time internally, because I sit down and I can't help but think, what a load of crap. How can people fall for this, right? This girl is not going to be Christian. This girl, do you understand what I'm getting at? I'm supposed to just welcome her in and believe her, and like, okay, this girl, all of a sudden, she's done all of these horrible things. She has been responsible for a bunch of other young women who now have to just, in order to make it into the market, they have to sleep with 2,000 guys instead of 1,000 guys. I slept with 100 or 1,100. I slept with 1,200. And the problem's only going to get worse. And the people participating in this are evil in my eyes. The people who are corrupting young men are evil in my eyes. The people who are posting on Instagram, and a platform that kids are all over, by the way, and I don't care how much you brand your page to be 18 plus. There are kids there, and kids are seeing that, and you're corrupting them, and I think that's evil. But then I'm stuck here, and this girl's going to sit down, she's going to become Christian, she's going to turn to God, and then my whole faith and the philosophy that I'm supposed to have is, oh, well, I'm glad that she found her way. No, I'm not glad that she found her way. I do not like what this girl is doing. I do not like any of the 100 men who use this girl for her body. I do not like the fact that this girl is famous and that everybody is talking about this now for just sleeping with 1,000 guys. And then the fact that people will see this and purchase her OnlyFans, and it's only going to get worse. And we're already on a slippery slope. Why should I not judge these people? Why should we not speak out against these people? Why should we give all of these people second chances? Every single guy that willingly showed up, flew out, and just wanted to use this girl for her body, those people should be investigated. And if those people turn to, then I can't help what I feel in my heart. I do not like any of them. I worry about them. I would never let any of them around my daughter. I would not be friends with these people. I would not welcome them into my home. And I know that a lot of you probably wouldn't let them welcome into your home. But I'm talking like, if I knew somebody in my life that flew out to use a girl for her body like that, I would never in a million years be okay with that. I would never in a million years associate myself with somebody like that. I would never in a million years be okay and be friends with somebody who is offering their body to 1,000 guys. It's all going into the biggest problem that we have in society right now, and it's a lot of young men being addicted to lust, and the problem's only getting worse because social media is not going to fix itself. That's all that they can see, and they are being even more degenerate as time goes on. You mark my words, what I said at the beginning of this video, mark my words, it is only going to get more illegal in the years to come. Give it like 5 years, if that. It's only going to get more illegal. People are only going to get even more twisted. People are going to start sleeping with 5,000 people in a day, and these girls are going to have to one-up each other. But it's okay because they'll turn to God in the end. I can't help it. It's like, and I know that there's levels to it, but it's like for somebody who just goes around and just starts going on a killing spree, just takes a gun, starts shooting a bunch of people, is like straight up evil, right? They turn around and then they have this like turnaround to God. And it's like, oh, well, I found myself. What I did was so wrong and I'm ready to fix my life and I'm ready to move forward. I'm like, no, you do not deserve to move forward. I don't care how much time you spent in prison. It should be life. Like, I can't help my feelings. Right? But the problem is, the reason that I brought all that up is because you're hearing all these conversations about how she's going to turn Christian because of that one redhead, how she is going to continue to do like, or who to blame. She's going to continue to do this. Who's to blame? The 1,000 men, the 100 men, or her in general. Everybody's to blame. I hate this world. I am so scared to raise my daughter in a world like this. And this is just one of those reasons as to why. And it's, again, I can't imagine when it's time for my daughter to get to high school how bad things are going to be. I don't imagine that this girl made as much money as Sophie Rain. If you want to talk about how much money Sophie Rain made and why that is also ridiculous for the world, then check out this video right here. We talk about that. I don't remember. It is on this channel. I don't remember what channel it was on. Thanks for watching, guys. It is this channel. Video's right here. Thanks for watching. Take care.